Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone.
Do what?
Because I f***ing called it!
Yeah, I already used the joke, and honestly, this is one of the ones I was pretty much guaranteed, but even before the Winter Soldier teaser, I did say this episode would come out, and here we are. And before you ask, yes, I'll probably do a prediction on the Boys vs. the Seven once I figure out whether they're going with comic or TV show, whether there's any certain conditions that would make this anywhere near fair, and once I'm done crying about how the Boys episode isn't Billy vs. Stain or Homelander versus one of these various great options. So, you might know I don't particularly care for this matchup. I think it's great that people are happy, and obviously I knew it was going to happen, so there's not really any complaining that it's happening, more so just, I'm not interested. It wasn't on the 7 Marvel DCs that I wanted to see, but it's okay, we knew this was coming from the teaser, I made peace with that, I'm not annoyed by it. But let's really think about this. We have 2 street tiers, one Marvel, one DC. One of these guys scales to Batman, the other to Captain America. Oh boy, Death Battle said Batman wins that fight. Why yes, they did. They were also wrong. And I think even some of the researchers have told me that that episode was wrong. But it's season 2, so that's completely acceptable. It's completely acceptable. First off, the stat gap is moderate. There are a lot of town level calculations for Marvel Street tiers. Like, there's this feat, and 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 then Captain America survived this, and, Bucky probably scares at least a little bit to Captain America surviving that, and that puts him above Red Hood a little bit. I know the researchers believe in Lightspeed Marvel Street tiers, and Captain America even has a feat that says they move faster than light that they could probably use to scale Winter Soldier. Now, Jason might also be Lightspeed, there might be something for that, I don't actually know myself. Generally, DC street tiers get around multi-city block from Deathstroke thwacking a helicopter, but that's really not going to compare to town level. Now, okay, let's be honest. They had Nightwing, Daredevil, Zuko, and Todoroki at human level durability. Although they did also have Black Widow, a grenade to the face level, so who knows. But Red Hood, he's probably going to be put at just between regular human to maybe war level at best. Red Hood is unlikely to get very high stats, even if he should get multi-city block. Winter Soldier probably will, but I think anyway this is going to come down to speed and arsenal, and from what I've heard, Soldier takes it because he's faster. I've heard generally their arsenals are even. I know Jason has these swords that could harm powerful things, but they're really just regular swords that are super effective on magical entities. And while Winter Soldier was a movie that magically made me give a shit about Captain America, Winter Soldier is not a magical character. So, Winter Soldier has the stats here. You could argue he's less skilled. I would say Red Hood's more skilled. But let's not pretend being a skilled fighter makes a battle against somebody you can't even hurt or keep up with even. I think Winter Soldier has this, honestly. I think he should win. I think he will win. I don't care who does win, though. As for Wally vs. Sonic, which if you look at the time, you'll notice is the majority of this video, I've noticed some people praising this as the next coming of Christ. And while I certainly do like it and think it's one of the best of this season, it's up there with Machamp featuring Goro, 1,000 Years of the High Ground, and surprisingly little destruction, I wouldn't give it a 9 or 10 out of 10. I struggle to give it an 8. I think 8 is where I'd probably put it, maybe 7.5. One of those numbers. Wallace vs. Maurice certainly had its moments. I think the banter was really good at the start, and the use of the Cosmic Interstate really did make me cheer when I saw the sneak peek live on Death Battle Cast. And that whole first minute is the best part of the fight. It's really good. They make a fight where the characters are just lines, have more impact than any of the actual meaty hits we see in the fight. There is a lot of great stuff in this sneak peek. Well, he looks like an idiot when he's running to the camera. Annoyingly though, Nicholas Andrew Louis' Sonic voice has been very, very inconsistent. It's amazing in Mario vs. Sonic 2, suboptimal in Death Race, and it just kinda sounds like Danny Phantom in West vs. the Hedge. What really displeases me though is that I can come up with my issues in really one word. Length. It's too short. Sonic goes into Supersonic, gets one blitz, and then goes into Ultrasonic in no time. Supersonic is in the fight for a total length of 22 seconds. That is criminal. It feels like between Supersonic's dive bomb into the portal to when they appear on the Sonic 1 special stage, a whole portion of the fight could have been in between that. And like after the sneak peek, they don't banter at all! You have such 90s personalities here, and you don't even have them banter past the first minute? After Flash Fact, I'm way out of your league. That's it. Supersonic is just like, oh, I'll whack you, and then that's his whole thing. And then Ultrasonic also only has one line, and it's terrible. I like that the voice is deeper and more booming, because in the comic they apparently actually say that Ultrasonic has a deeper voice than regular Sonic. Okay, fine. But the cringiness of, I wish you gone forever, almost rivals, witness my infinite power. Also, I really appreciate that they didn't explain that Wally turns into Ghost Rider when he goes all out. It was a really good idea to confuse people who didn't have prior knowledge. Good job. But this fight felt like it lacked a certain creativity. Now the first minute, is fine. I rewatched that sneak peek a lot, because it's the best part. I love that part of the fight. I love it so much. It's just them starting and resorting to nothing but regular blows is okay. But afterwards, the amount of powers they use are making ice, phasing, time travel, dimensional travel, lightning bolt, and one laser, and that's it. That might sound like a decent amount if it was fucking Zuko vs Todoroki where they have only that many powers, but we don't see any crazy molecule manipulation. Wally doesn't refract any reality warps through his body. We don't see Ultrasonic using all of his elements, no tornadoes, no invisibility, no after images, no crazy black hole shenanigans, and instead of having one character run back in time, then the other character follows them, and they have a fist fight inside the time stream, while in the background you have moments from their comic histories as the panels, as the TV screens. You recreate moments from their history and have that in the background. That would be so cool, but instead, Wally just runs back in time and punches a crystal and pokes Sonic's nipples into death. That's it! There is so much missed creativity and potential here, and that's what bothers me. This is not like Kakashi vs Obi-Wan, right, where they missed a lot, but they also included a lot. And what I wanted was more traditional fighting. I wanted to see more lightsaber versus the lightning kunai thing. That would have been cool. Here, they include a minuscule amount of their powers. I get the reason is probably budget, but that just means this episode suffered from the 2-week schedule, meaning each individual episode gets less budget to it. I'd assume. Otherwise, this is inexcusable. It's either because of the budget, in which case it's either Rooster fault for not giving them enough, or the fault of the new schedule, taking money away from each individual episode to spread it among 4 more episodes than previously. But if it's not a budgetary problem, then there is no excuse. Maybe it's a time problem. They've been working on this season since, last year. There's no excuse. Imagine if this fight was, say, 1 minute longer. We have 1 extra minute of Supersonic vs. The Flash. That would immediately make it better. Literally, the only location they go to after the Cosmic Interstate where they spend any real time is in the Special Zone. Looks good, don't get me wrong, but it is boring. It is a bunch of spheres. There is so little environment to interact with that they just don't. The slipping across the ice scene, that's pretty good. I love the super fast foot tap and Sonic's expression. That's great. That's actually using the environment to their advantage to be creative. You literally started the fight on a highway that leads to different universes. You couldn't have them going to any of them? Imagine instead of going straight to this place and immediately going to Ultrasonic, we had Supersonic and Flash fighting in Green Hill Zone, running through loops as they fight. Maybe some other zone, like Casino Night Zone, where they can interact with the casino. Or even going to Central City, fighting while using the environment, while running up buildings. Fighting while running across water. Imagine if they had a fight on Earth, where they were running, across the whole planet, going to all these different places to fight, and, maybe there you can have Ultrasonic, adapting to the environment and using the environment's powers against Wally, and you could get really, really creative. You could have actual banter if there's actual scenery for them to banter about. You could get so creative with this matchup, but it just wasn't creative at all. It feels like so much was lost in this animation that could have been, but wasn't. Then there's the research. Well, okay, no, not the research, alright? Don't go after the research team. They did nothing wrong. I know from the blogs, and from the fact that I've interacted with the researchers, that they believe in Multi-Plus, Wally and Archie Sonic. So what the fuck is this? First off, using anti-feats like this is a big no-no. Wally also has anti-feats that would make his durability equal to Sonic, and if his durability was enough that a dumbbell could knock him out, then his infinite mass punch would kill him, because that energy would be going back up his arm and vaporizing his body. Because that's how physics works. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You could say, oh, the Speed Force goes beyond physics. Okay, but then what's stopping Sonic from just punching him in the dick? But you know what these numbers mean? 5 trillion tons of TNT is 5 teratons. That's small country level. This number? This is 2 nenatons. Large planet level. We have small country base Sonic and large planet Wally West. And given they have this here, this seems to imply that they do not have Supersonic at universe level in this episode. And they say that Supersonic bridges the gap. Do they think Supersonic is also just large planet? I cannot forgive how poorly this explanation is thought out. And I have 4 theories as to why the episode does not reflect the research. Here they are. Number 1, it was intentional and done for views. First off, I want to be clear, I'm a fan of Death Battle. I do not believe this theory. It is simply an option and something I think is plausible but not guaranteed. I do not intend to slander Death Battle, nor do I wish to be considered somebody who is condemning the show. Seth. However, it seems like it's pretty obvious that these characters are above these levels. However, by making Flash seem stronger and lowballing Sonic to such an unimaginable extreme, this is going to drum up a lot of controversy, a lot of debunk videos, a lot of dislikes, a lot of Green Lantern vs. Ben 10. Aang vs. Edward and All Might vs. Might Guy were the only non-Marvel DC episodes last season to pass 4 million views. And the only episodes to surpass Green Lantern vs. Ben 10 in views were All Might vs. Might Guy, because it's the finale, Deadpool vs. The Mask, because Deadpool, Captain Marvel vs. Shazam, because of the movie promotion, and Ghost Rider vs. Lobo, because everyone's been waiting for those characters on Death Battle. Not necessarily against each other, though. Ben vs. Hal got a lot of views for just a random mid-season episode. And these numbers, plus the fact that they didn't properly debunk the Fate hacks with Sonic has lost a bunch of times, and these statements are the only times Fate hacks is mentioned at all, and these Fate hacks contradict how often he's lost. But instead just went, Fate is physical and Wally can face through Fate, without properly explaining that. And that they didn't address Sonic coming back to life at all means they clearly left out information that would have been important to have. Additionally, they didn't really explain the Fate thing well. You know, the whole he ran back in time to a point where death did not exist. Are they assuming that death hacks is the same as Fate hacks? 2. It was to make the battle seem more one-sided. Normally, Death Battle tries to make fight scenes closer than they are. However, with the amount of hype Archie Sonic has as some unbeatable god amongst the normies, showing that Wally is actually stronger and ignoring Sonic coming back to life and other abilities that could have been interesting, probably make it seem less close and more obviously a Wally win so that the casual audience is more accepting. 3. Time crunch. Due to the schedule change and less time being given to work on each episode individually, it's possible this is a victim of that. After all, last season, there were only 3 episodes that did not reach the 20-minute mark, and the shortest was 18 minutes. This season, however, only 2 episodes did reach the 20-minute mark, and thankfully Wally vs. Sonic was one of them, but that is shocking, that a stomp like Deadpool vs. The Mask is longer than goddamn Wally West vs. Archie Sonic, an episode which should be making clear just how strong Wally is. Debunking some of the bullshit people have said about Archie Sonic that isn't true, bringing up all of their abilities as each one has been seen as a win con by some people, would have been great, but they didn't, possibly because of time crunch.
Theory number 4.
It was done for the sake of the casual audience. This is probably what the people behind the episode would tell you. This was done for casual audiences. They couldn't understand scaling chains or what infinite multiversal destroying power means. They could not possibly understand if you just said, both characters have fought those who can destroy infinite multiverses, ergo they're equal in raw strength at their peaks. Such a complex set of words is too much for tiny-brained American to understand, yes? Honestly, this is a case of sacrificing an accurate portrayal of a character's power and being faithful to your own research to service others. And even then, I think anyone with no verse debating experience would understand if you just said they're equal in strength. I feel like if you have to dumb things down for a casual audience, just don't use characters that are this complex. I just don't agree with this line of logic. Making the episode long enough to explain this thing, please. You'd think with characters this complex, you'd have a 30-minute episode with like a 10-minute long conclusion to properly go over all the information. Because the only thing you get if you don't spend that much time is more debunking videos, and you'll get more publicity from them, and oh hey, we've gone full circle now, haven't we? Anyway, if you want to know what I like about the fight, it's good. That first minute is amazing. I think they did a good job editing Archie Sonic when they had no footage. Oh, this was a very good way to do that. I obviously think, like, the jokes were usually fine enough. I didn't really laugh at any of them, but I did not cringe, and that's more important. The episode was generally good. It's an 8 out of 10. I still give it an 8 out of 10. The track was decent. It could have been better if it was more rocking, but, you know, the quality of the animation is great. The effects are nice. That kill is amazing. I love... Okay, the hand-drawn parts of this episode blows so many of the others out of the water. There's no weird Beerus face. There's no warped Todoroki hand. There's no fucking T-Rex. It's just all really solid. The hand-drawn stuff is just so good looking. And that ending, the way you see the time place when he's running back in time, Wally looks just like it does in DC, and the kill is so good. It's just a punch, and it's kind of vague. But the way he Sonic just switches, you got the Werehog, you've got literally just a spin dash with a head, you've got Sonic. The way that looks, oh, it's just so good. So yes, I do like this episode, and it is a very fun one. But it's just got those problems that I can't ignore. For instance, Wally doesn't say time heart or I can do that too. 0 out of 10, worst episode, there's no funny line revolving around time travel that I can meme. But you know, I could probably meme don't mess with the hog's dogs, eh?